The issue of relations between South Africa and the United States was an issue that occupied many people's minds in our country, and many had raised concerns about the deteriorating relationship between our two countries, having recognized the important role that both our countries play in each other's economy, apart from the various political relations, diplomatic relations. And we realized that the impact on our country's economy would be adverse unless we were able to repair or reset the relationship between our two countries. And to this end, in a telephone conversation with President Trump, when we were discussing other global matters such as Russia and Ukraine, we agreed that we should meet. And it was to this end that we traveled to the United States with a delegation that all of you would have seen as it was broadly televised. We really had three objectives. The first was to reset the relationship between two trading partners, partners that have had dealings over many years and where we invest in each other's economies. The United States has some 601 companies that are invested in South Africa, and we similarly have a number of companies that have invested in the United States. A number of our jobs, some of the sectors that would be affected would be agriculture, the auto sector, and the steel and aluminum sector, and a number of other sectors that make machines, and the mining sector, where we sell critical minerals to the United States, would be adversely affected if the relations were not straightened out. So it was to this end that we were motivated to reset that relationship. The second objective was to set up a process of engagement between the United States and South Africa. There had hitherto been a process of disengaging, where we were no longer really engaging at a government level to deal with issues that governments normally deal with on an ongoing basis. And we wanted to engage on tariffs, on investments, and related matters. And the third objective was to discuss the G20 and to highlight the important role that a country like the United States, which is the largest economy in the world, plays in the activities of the G20, which we are so deeply immersed in and having the responsibility of leading, and that it's important for the United States to engage with the G20 process and ultimately to entice the leader of the United States to come to the Leaders' Summit at the end of the year. So broadly, those were our objectives, and there could be a fourth one, which would be just the promotion of investment by American companies and South African companies in each other's economies. So we do believe that we achieved those objectives. The engagement with the American government has started. Soon after we left Washington, the engagement has now commenced, and there are discussions that are happening in relation to tariffs, in relation to investments, and we believe that we have reset the relationship despite what we could have seen on television. We were able to have a much more meaningful discussion and meeting with President Trump and his representatives during the quiet room where we had lunch together and had meaningful exchanges on a number of issues. And we do believe that the engagement will continue through the G20 process. So that was the main objective of the visit, and we do believe that the United States continuing to play such a big role in the life of our economy, it was necessary and important for us to go and engage with them. because many of our people's jobs are dependent on our economic dealings with the United States.